Here's why King Viserys felt betrayed by Daemon's mockery of his dead son Baelon. Grief changes a man. For King Viserys Targaryen, the death of his infant son Baelon was not just the loss of a child. It was the loss of hope, of legacy, of the one thing he believed could secure the Targaryen dynasty. In that moment, Viserys was no longer the smiling king who loved peace and tournaments. He was a broken father burying his dreams in the cold ground. But betrayal often comes when we are at our weakest. And it came not from an enemy, not from a scheming noble or rebellious lord, but from the one man Viserys thought he could trust, his own brother, Daemon Targaryen. When Daemon mockingly called Baelon the heir for a day, the wound of grief turned into the scar of betrayal. For Viserys, it was a moment he would never forget, a moment that shattered the fragile bond between two brothers and changed the fate of House Targaryen forever. Today, we're diving deep into this heartbreaking betrayal, why Daemon mocked his nephew's death, why Viserys felt so wounded by it, and how that one cruel remark set in motion the fiery civil war that would tear Westeros apart. Stay with me, because this isn't just a story about an insult, it's the story of love, grief, brotherhood, and the kind of betrayal that burns hotter than dragonfire. To understand why King Viserys felt so betrayed, we first need to go back to the nightmarish tragedy that claimed his son. Viserys had long struggled with the question of succession. For years, his only living child was his daughter, Rhaenyra. While he loved her dearly, the lords of Westeros whispered constantly that the realm needed a male heir. The pressure weighed on him like a crown of lead. When Queen Aemma finally became pregnant again, Viserys believed the gods had answered his prayers. He was certain the child would be a boy, certain this boy would secure his dynasty and silence the whispers of doubt. He even hosted a lavish tournament in celebration, convinced of the child's importance before it had even taken its first breath. But fate was cruel. Aemma died in childbirth. Baelon, the long-awaited son, lived only for a single day before he too slipped away. In the span of hours, Viserys lost his wife, his son, and his dream of peace for his house. The king was devastated. He mourned deeply, and the court mourned with him. But while Viserys was consumed with grief, Daemon Targaryen chose mockery over mourning. So why did Daemon do it? According to accounts in Fire and Blood, after Baelon's death, Daemon was overheard in a brothel, raising a cup to his late nephew and referring to him as the heir for a day. Now, Daemon was known for his sharp tongue and darker sense of humor. He thrived on shocking others, on saying the unsayable. But this wasn't wit, it was cruelty. In mocking Baelon, Daemon mocked Viserys' grief. He mocked his brother's loss. And most painfully, he mocked the very dream that had sustained Viserys, the dream of a male heir to secure his throne. For Viserys, it wasn't just an insult, it was betrayal. To truly grasp the depth of that betrayal, we need to understand the bond between Viserys and Daemon. They were brothers, but also opposites. Viserys was gentle, diplomatic, a man who preferred peace to war. Daemon was fire and fury, a warrior who thrived in chaos. Where Viserys wanted to heal divides, Daemon wanted to cut through them with steel. And yet, despite their differences, there was love there. Viserys defended Daemon constantly at court. When others called him reckless, violent, or unfit, Viserys stood by his side. He gave him titles, positions, even the powerful city watch to command. For years, Viserys had shielded Daemon from the consequences of his wild behavior. But in mocking Baelon's death, Daemon broke something sacred. Family above all. That was the Targaryen creed. And Daemon had crossed a line no brother should ever cross. Let's pause for a moment to consider what this meant for Viserys emotionally. Imagine being a grieving father, holding your infant son as he dies, burying him alongside your wife, the love of your life. Now imagine hearing that your brother, the man you defended and trusted, raised a cup in mockery of that death. Viserys must have felt not just hurt, but humiliated. In the halls of power, rumors spread quickly. Lords and ladies whispered about Daemon's words, and every whisper was like salt in Viserys' wounds. He must have wondered, had Daemon ever respected him at all? Was their brotherhood real, or had it been a facade all along? For Viserys, Baelon's death was tragedy. Daemon's words turned that tragedy into betrayal. But why would Daemon do this? Was it simple cruelty, or was there more beneath the surface? Some argue that Daemon's mockery wasn't aimed at Baelon at all, but at Viserys himself. For years, Daemon had chafed under his brother's rule. He believed Viserys was weak, too indecisive, too eager to please. By mocking Baelon as the heir for a day, Daemon may have been mocking Viserys' obsession with a male heir, showing disdain for his brother's desperation. In Daemon's mind, perhaps it was a reminder, you don't need a son. You have me. After all, Daemon had long seen himself as the natural heir to the throne. With Baelon gone, that left only Rhaenyra, or Daemon himself. His mocking words may have been less about cruelty toward a dead child, and more about staking his claim in the most shocking way possible. But if that was his intent, it backfired spectacularly. Viserys' reaction was swift and merciless. When word of Daemon's mockery reached him, the king's grief turned to fury. In that moment, he realized he could no longer defend his brother, no longer excuse his reckless behavior. The bond of trust was broken. Viserys banished Daemon from court. Stripped of favor, Daemon was forced into exile, where he brooded, plotted, and eventually sought power elsewhere. And in perhaps the most symbolic act of all, Viserys turned away from his brother and officially named Rhaenyra as his heir. In a way, Daemon's mockery didn't just cost him his brother's love, it cost him the Iron Throne. So why did Viserys feel so betrayed? Because in mocking Baelon's death, Daemon proved that his loyalty was not to family, not to blood, but only to himself. For a house built on the creed, fire and blood, that was the ultimate sin. It wasn't just that Daemon spoke cruel words, it was that those words revealed a truth Viserys had long tried to ignore: his brother could never be trusted. And here's where this betrayal becomes even more important. The rift between Viserys and Daemon over Baelon's death planted the seeds of the Dance of the Dragons. By pushing Daemon away, Viserys forced him to seek power elsewhere, through alliances, marriages, and eventually, war. The bitter feelings between the two brothers spilled into the next generation, shaping the conflict between Rhaenyra and Aegon II. In other words, one cruel jest at a brothel didn't just wound a king, it helped ignite a civil war. So, let's bring this all together. Why did Viserys feel betrayed by Daemon's mockery of Baelon? Because grief demands compassion, and instead, he got mockery. Because brotherhood demands loyalty, and instead, he got humiliation. Because in the moment when he needed Daemon's support most, he discovered the painful truth that his brother's heart was not with him, nor with their family, but with his own ambition. It was betrayal in its purest form. Not on the battlefield, not with blades or blood, but with words that cut deeper than any sword. And in the world of Game of Thrones, sometimes it's not the dragons or the